It seems like everybody, good morning. I know it's 5:39 a.m. my time. I'm just testing out this new software. I'm not going to name the name of it, but I've been testing several, and hopefully I'm going to settle on one. But I thought I would come on this morning because I've got a lot of things on my mind, and I'm testing it out. And YouTube likes for me to put at least one on a week, and I really don't show my face, not yet, because, you know, I'm trying to make sure that everything is working properly, and I don't want y'all to see me looking all around trying to find little places. So, if there is a chat, I'm not going to be, um, I won't see anybody in it. So, even if this is live, I saw a little thing that I thought maybe a lot of us might could relate to. You know, we all think about things. What do we want to talk about? Well, I don't want to say anything bad about anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to kind of share some things that are in my mind and that a lot of other people might also think about. You know, we're kind of all here for a certain amount of time when we don't know how long we have, and time is so precious. Um, a person that has worked at doctor's office that I go to, she passed away, and she'd worked there for 37 years. And then um, this month is also the anniversary month of two of my friends that I lost, and they both. Um, I don't want to say too much about them because they also have family and friends that may not want a lot of information shared, but they both did commit suicide. They were both married, they both had children, and sometimes in life things don't work out, and then you always regret not being able to help them. If you had just known maybe they were in that situation, you would have been able to help them, or at least try. I mean, none of us are perfect. We just kind of take day by day, and you know, I sit and think, especially at night. I mean, it's depending on where you're at. My mind never rests. I've constantly got things going on. I worry. My mind just never settles. And so I think of so many things at once. And I think many people do. We just have a hard time trying to, I don't know, describe how hard it can be sometimes. I um I was looking at this little thing that I have. You need to read the little turtle theory. So I thought, well, I'll I'll look at the little turtle theory, and it's kind of interesting because you know we all are here, and time passes so fast. I don't know if y'all noticed, but in you know younger times when we're growing up and then we're going through school, it seems like, oh my gosh, we're never going to graduate. We'll never get there. It takes so long. And then you graduate, and it goes by the blink of an eye. You know, I'm 51. I'll be turning 52 in July. And I sit and think of so much that has happened throughout my life. And I'm thinking, well, I've helped so many people throughout my life, and I always try to build everybody else up and make sure that they're okay. Excuse me. That I've kind of just let time pass. I guess for me, um, I just saw my niece, and uh, when I saw her online on her social media. I haven't physically been around people because My mom's high risk and I'm high risk, and also I was in a car accident, so that also makes me sad because I was kind of like a person that could come and go anywhere, and then the pandemic happened, and then so many things happened, and I watched everybody else have fun, and it does get sad and depressing a lot, and depression is hard. A lot of people deal with it, and they don't really understand how to share, or each person goes through things in a different way. And so I was looking at the little turtle uh, theory, and it says, the turtle, it never rushes, yet it still reaches its destination. I'm thinking, man, I'm 51 years old. I don't live as long as a turtle. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe if I'm positive, I will. And I think, there's so many things when I was younger that I wanted to do. I think we all think about that. But unfortunately, I got a bad egg. I was 18 years old, and he found me. He was 25, and ended up dating him. And around here, you, I guess you call it dating. Um, you date one person, and either you end up marrying that person, or you date them. And when I say date, this was what dating was to me. Uh, I got off on a Friday night from work, and of course I went to school, went to work, come home. I got the Sonic is our only restaurant here, um, except some small hometown little restaurants. And so the Sonic was the big deal. It was you know, the place you picked up your chicken basket, or you picked up your, uh, I don't know, your Sonic cheeseburger, your number one. Uh, you had, we had a Take Two video, and that was when VHS, you, be kind, please rewind. You get the VHS tape, you rewind it, and or you have to put your name on a list, and you wait for the newest release. And so anyway, the Sonic was the only restaurant that we really had, unless you're going to drive an hour or two away uh, to get maybe get some Kentucky Fried Chicken. But uh, in the old days, went to school, you went to work, and then got the Sonic, got the Take Two video. Then you went home and you watched the movies, you ate, and that was it. And every once in a while, you'd go to the theater, and then you'd watch a movie, and then you'd go home. And that was about it. And I did that for about a year and 6 months. And then when I did, um, I ended up, the person proposed to me, so I married him. And things didn't turn out like I thought they would. And so then life changes when the person you think that you're with, when their mask falls off. And I mean, this is April, and I was looking on my social media. My niece, she just got prom queen. I got prom queen in 1993, and she just got it. Here we are in 2026, and I'm so proud of her. I never had children. So, um, it it kind of makes me look back on life. It's not really fair when you're with somebody who is not around, and they're with somebody else's spouse, when they should be with you, and they always have an excuse they won't come home to their family, or to you because they're always so busy, even though we all know that Walmart even closes on Christmas. Anyway, um, I don't feel it's right if someone wastes all your time and makes every excuse in the book. They guilt you and make you feel like, okay, if you don't get married, well, they're gonna have a heart attack, or if you don't get married, you never set a date. They want to get married by 26, by their age, and here I am, real young, and I thought that's what you did, because if you're not married by the age 20 at that time, you were considered an old maid. So then we went to Walt Disney World, which I love, like the fantasy thing. My nickname in high school was Cinderella. I love the Cinderella Castle, so I got to go. That's where I went on my honeymoon, and uh, I've got pictures. And we were out walking, and the people said, "What are y'all doing out of your room? Shouldn't y'all be staying inside?" And what they were doing some kind of theatrical thing, and the guy got down and it started sucking on my hand. That was kind of weird, but anyway, then we went to an Indiana Jones thing they were doing, and Lord, I had the big hair and the hairspray, right? So I didn't want to get too close to that fire. That'd blow me up. But they had chosen me out of the audience to come down. I'm like, no, no, that's too much flame around that Aquanet and, rave hairspray. Boy, we had the hair sticking up then. It was all teased up. The higher, the better. I don't know how I stood up like that. I think they changed the makeup of it, because it don't stand up out, like it used to. Anyway, we went there, and then I was at some kind of big auditorium thing at the place. I call it auditorium. Um, but they said, "Oh, look, it's Sally Struthers on a diet." I was like 85 pounds then, and then no matter what, I don't know what it is, uh, a person's weight, no matter what you weigh, if you're too skinny, they talk about you, and if you're, you know, healthy, people talk about you. So you can't win for losing. Women always are judged, but a man can be walking around like he's 9,000 months pregnant, and it's okay. Men are not judged like women. Women are judged, and that's one of the things I think about when I look at uh, other women. You know, one of the things that I guess is pet peeve of mine is when another woman uh, tries to bring down another female. Like I saw something on there like this pageant queen, she won, and this other former pageant queen, well, she was putting a crown on her head. She just kept making it fall off. Well, you've already had your reign for the year. You're supposed to be doing good things and helping people. And now you're doing this to this new person. This is her moment. This is her special time. Why aren't you being kind to her and letting her have her moment? Remember when you were, the former queen, and it was your time? You had that moment that was special for you. Why mess it up for her? Why not, you know, uh, uh, stand there with her and be proud for her and lift her up and make it a special moment? Why make it bad for her? I just think if another female hurts another female, it shows their character. Because, I mean, if another person's already won, it's really hard. People look and they say, oh, pageants are easy. They are not easy. I mean, there's a lot of stress and stuff that goes in, but when I was younger, it was fun. It was my escape. It was my way that I got to escape for just a little bit. When I walked on that stage, I was abused a lot during life. So that was my escape. And when I was on that stage, yeah, it was different. I could feel like I stepped into a different world, and it was fun. So to win, it made me feel like I was pretty, and somebody thought that that was pretty enough to win, and I enjoyed that. And for if somebody had been cruel, it would have hurt worse. I mean, we all have the little small things in life that make us feel, good for, even if it's for a little second, the little kindness, it means a lot. A lot of people don't really take time to notice. Life's just so fast. But, I think about, oh, and I'm jumping around everywhere because if my mind thinks of one thing, I'll go there. But I go back to when I was younger, and if I could give some advice to anybody, I'd say whatever you do, wait and make sure. If you're not equally yoked with somebody, if you don't have someone that's going to at least catch you when you fall and stand by you like you stand by them, then it's not worth it because I mean, my whole life I've always felt like I've had to lead. I've never been able to just let my arms down or my little walls down and say, okay, I know this person's got me like I have them. Never. I've always encouraged everybody else, always helped everybody else. But, even in my marriage, you know, I look at the other female that he was with when she was married to her husband. She wasn't faithful to her husband. He wasn't faithful to me. And I look at him. He was the one that's supposed to be faithful to me. But she's another female. And for her to do that to another female, that's just wrong and that's cruel. And for him to do that to another male, that's wrong. So it's not right either way. But, they got each other now, so they can have each other. But it still hurts and betrayal, especially since you've known somebody since you were that young. And the thing is, if you don't want to be with somebody, then tell that person. Don't make them think you love them. And when someone tells me they love me, I tell everybody I love them. But there's different variations of love. There's different kinds. Like I love my mom and my sister, and that's a different kind of love. We all have different kinds of love for different friendships that we have. I mean, I don't really believe in a true love because when someone says I love you, I always ask you for how long or until someone else comes along and you like them better. That's why I don't get anywhere close to people because as long as I don't let myself get close to people, then they can't hurt me. And the worst thing you can do is to tell somebody your most vulnerable points and then they use it against you. That's horrible. And I know that he was the closest person that I had let get to me, besides my mom and my sister, and then he just crushed me, you know. Um, and it's horrible for them to use your insecurities. I think we all have insecurities. I don't care how old we get. We're still young on the inside. People say, oh, well, so and so's this age. Yeah, well, we may be this age, but guess what? We still are young inside. I still want to go to Walt Disney World. I want to play. I want to have fun. There needs to be an adult playground where the adults can let someone babysit their kids, and we can go swing on the monkey bars, or we can go ride and have fun and play. We like to have fun too. Just because our little age and the number gets higher doesn't mean we don't want to have fun too. I mean, I never had kids, but I'm like a big kid in an adult body, and I can't help it. I've just I've always, put my focus on helping other people, but I have dreams and I have things I like to do before I pass. But if not, then maybe it's not in the cards. But I'm still not dead yet, so that's a good thing. But depression does put you in a state of mind where you get that way. And I sort of went on a tangent, but I was looking at the other little, if you don't, you don't have to move. Look at the little turtle thing here. You don't have to move at everyone else's pace. The right journey, it respects your time, and it will find you at the right time. Well, I'm thinking, well, okay, whatever is supposed to be, it will arrive at the right time. We don't ever know when that is. We don't know what exactly we're supposed to be doing. Um, but and also it says like a little turtle. Well, like a turtle. I put the little in there. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is retreat. Now that's me. I become uh, what they call us a recluse. Not but you're not to give up, but to protect your peace. So I have become really withdrawn, and for my own peace and my body, my nervous system, it's just, uh, it just clicks into high gear, and I go into panic attacks and everything being around people. I'm a germophobic. I've gotten worse. My OCD, everything. And, I wish I could just have a little light switch where I could turn myself on and off and be normal and be okay. But I'm not. I'm not a person that has a little light switch. And it says growth doesn't always look loud and fast. Sometimes it's quiet and steady and unseen. Sometimes I'll go I'll go online and then I'll surf around and then I'll get real quiet like a little mouse. And then I think about things and all these thoughts come in my head and I get real sad and I feel bad, and I think we all do, and we're supposed to be positive and jump around like a little lightning bug all the time. But sometimes you just don't feel like a little lightning bug. Sometimes, you do. Sometimes you don't. And the turtle carries its home, wherever it goes. So it's proof that your comfort should come from within, not from others. So that's the biggest thing. See, when I grew up, we didn't have the internet. We had the telephone that was stuck to the wall. We had an answer machine that we screened our calls. Or what we would do is if somebody would call, they'd call twice, hang up and call back. That was code, so we knew it was them. And that was before we got caller ID. But oh boy, when we got caller ID, we could screen the calls. Unfortunately, some people still block their numbers. And but still, we did our code. And then you could screen your calls and you could stare at the answer machine and like, I'm not going to answer that call. Or I'm going to answer that call. It was different. Now, everybody has a phone and everything's so different. A lot of people were born where they automatically had the internet. They had everything. When we had that peace and that type of that you can't capture. When I grew up in the 80s, it was the best time. You know, you you went out and I climbed trees. I cut my leg. I did all kind of stuff. We would meet our neighbor. He'd say, "Okay, well, we'll meet you in the morning and we'll go out and play." And we went out to play, and we have this big tree still in the back of the uh, we a little forest behind my mama's house, and we used to climb the tree, and people's got their initials in it, and I go out there sometimes still, and it puts me back in that moment, that place and time, and it feels like I'm actually present in that moment. I know, how sometimes you can hear a song and it takes you back to that place. So I think that music is kind of like a time machine because you always remember where you're at when you smell a certain smell for the first time, when you hear a certain song the first time. I mean, I was in sixth grade and I was sitting on this bench, and the the wind, it it had this certain smell to it. And so now when the wind smells like that, I remember of what I was doing in sixth grade, sitting on that bench. I can, I guess we all time travel in our way. Um, oh, and the little last thing it says, just because you're moving slower doesn't mean you're falling behind. You're just moving with intention. And that's true. I'm moving slowly on doing my little podcast, but I want to make sure I do the right thing. I want to do it the right way. I mean, I've tried all these little streaming services. Some have uh, some neat little things. Some are slow. Some will not uh, have the speed that I will need, and some will. And oh, let me see, hide that for now. Um, but the little pop-ups come up. But some will have the ones that I need, and some won't. So then I'm trying this other one now, and I've tried different ones. But what happens is it's bandwidth issues in the location where I'm at, and I also want to have different things that I talk about that maybe people want to know about, or maybe be experiencing that I've been through. Because Lord knows I can talk a million miles an hour, and I also want to share things that I've been through. So if another person is in that place at that moment, then they don't have to feel like they're alone. That's one of the things, is being able to help other people. And I don't need everybody to see what I'm doing. I help tons of people, and you never see it, because I don't need to show everybody everything I'm doing. Because I want to do it, I, I don't need people to see it. If I want to do it, I'll do it. Because I want to. A lot of people put it all online. They won't get somebody a cookie if they don't capture it on film. Heck, people take pictures of their cookies now, or all their food, and put it on the internet, or somebody to rate their food. It's like, back then, heck, you get your food, when I was growing up, you get your food, you eat it. I mean, can you imagine me taking a Polaroid picture of my food and taking it to school and say, "Hey, y'all, this is what I had for supper last night"? They'd be looking at me like I was crazy. I'd probably get beat up. Um, but if you look at things, you think, okay, well, how in the world has things changed so much? And it just has, and it's going faster and faster. And pictures, we have the little Polaroid pictures or the instant pictures. See, nowadays everybody gets them immediately. We had to take a picture, then we had to develop them in the dark room. I took photography in high school, loved it. Um, but I had to mix all the solutions, and develop the film, and then develop the pictures. And you could also drop them off at Fred's, or Walmart, or some of the places to do your pictures. See, now y'all get it instantly. Everything's just given to everybody so quickly, they take it for granted. We had to sit and wait a week or so for our film to be developed. And I know those people at some of those retail places. They looked at our pictures. They were nosy. They were looking. Heck, I can't say I wouldn't look either, because I'm nosy too. But if you notice films this time when you watch them, you can tell they're by the time period that they were actually filmed, because there's no cell phones. You see a phone booth, or people are just going along like they usually do. And it's very interesting, because if you take yourself out of those time periods, but most do not know. Most of the generation ex like myself, I do have, uh, I guess I'll say, a different understanding. So I like to ask and talk to people who are from different generations because it helps me to learn, it helps me to be able to understand and communicate because there's a lot of misunderstandings. And so, I'll take a example. Thirsty. In the old days, or when I was growing up, I'm not gonna say old because I'm still young on the inside. Um, but anyway, they'd say thirsty. Well, that means you want something to drink. Nowadays, it doesn't mean that. When you say, okay, I want people to follow me. Follow me. I want you to follow me. Are you sure? Yeah, follow me. Back in the old days, you follow somebody, they think you're stalking them, and you get your tail beat for something like that. And nowadays, it's just totally different. Yeah, follow me. Oh yeah. Um, it's changed so much. And then I see people, they hashtag these things, and I don't know what they mean. And I never had children, so I don't have any hip slang. I'm not, you know, whatever they call help this day and time. But for me, I wonder. I really wonder uh, how it would have been to just have grown up with the internet. I wouldn't have had the experiences that I had. And I gotta say, if I had a time machine and I could go back, I would jump in it. And I wouldn't come back to this time. I would stay in the 80s. And I mean, the worst thing you could hear was the gossip at the grocery store when you were standing in line to pay for your groceries. That'd be about it, you know? And then so and so talking about so and so, or you had the party line. Before we got the private line, there was a party line. You could pick up, everybody shared the line, and you could listen and you could hear all the little nosy neighbor stuff. Put that phone down. You're not supposed to be listening. Of course, when they tell you not to, you won't listen. Anyway, so much has changed. But I thought, well, I'll get on here and I'll just yak because my mind is racing. I have a hard time sleeping. I have so much on my mind. You know, we have so little time here. And I sat and I thought, well, just the other day I was 20. Next thing you know, I turn around, I'm 51, 50, maybe 52. And I see the people that, were the real popular musicians when I was growing up. Like I saw Madonna. She was shaking her booty. She was going. Everybody's like, oh, look at her. She's older. Can you believe that? I'm like, yeah, you shake that booty. You keep moving because if you don't, then you'll get to where you can't move. So I say, hey, I don't care how old you are. If you live to be 200 years old and you can shake your booty and keep moving and you're alive and healthy and can do it, yeah, you do it. And so what? Somebody else thinks, oh, look, so and so looks like that. So what? You just keep shaking that booty and doing your thing. I want to go. I love theme parks. I want to go play. But of course, there's not one here. But I went to, Orlando, Florida, and I went to Disney. And I've never been back because, the marriage didn't turn out. So now it's like a bad place for me. I don't want to go back there because it has bad memories. I mean, it's not a bad place itself. It's just that I I don't know, I look at it a certain way. I was going to go back there. They want to give me all these timeshares. I want to stay in that. Cinderella Castle. I think they said that one of the Jonas Brothers stayed there with his wife. I think it was like $10,000 a night. They stayed actually inside the Cinderella Castle. So I like what I'd like to do is just close the whole theme park down and just have fun. I can ride all the rides. Uh, I, but I think we went to the Epcot Center and then uh, we went to so many places there, and then we stayed at the. I know some people say the Caribbean, some people say the Caribbean. So we stayed at the that beach resort there. So we took the little trolley or the little bus thing, and we would go out there, and I had the best time. What gets you is when the honeymoon is over and you're at home and you're thinking, okay, now here's one thing. A lot of people may disagree with me, and that's okay if you do. But it's like, okay, you're out dating, you're out having fun, you're or whatever. You're going to your Sonic and your Take Two video and you're doing or whatever. I never went to parties or anything like that when I was in school. I came home. I was happy, and my mom and my sister, we watched movies. And then that's when the big bad boyfriend came and messed everything up. Because he was a bad seed. Anyway, it just messed everything up. But uh, I I'll say one thing: if you want to remain friends with somebody, always keep them as a friend. I have become I'll say more than friends by marrying, and then now I don't talk to the person. The person goes to me, and he's the one who did everything wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because Lord knows I'm not. But at least I didn't waste somebody's time. I'd just tell somebody right off. I wouldn't waste 30 years. But also, people that are your friends, if they would say, "Oh yeah, I want to get in a relationship with you," or just even talk to you and say, "Hey, let's communicate and talk." The moment that becomes crosses anything like a friend, or you give a first of all, don't give anybody advice or say anything about somebody's relationship, because if you do, and I'm becoming strong in this and saying this because I'm putting an emphasis on it. The moment they get back together, you're going to look like the bad one. They're going to look at you, oh, so and so said so and so about you. And now, even though they were talking bad about that person, then, now, if they get back together, you're going to be the bad one. So that's one lesson. Don't talk about somebody else's. And when they split up, let them deal with it themselves. Because the moment you open your mouth, you're the bad seed. You're the bad friend, and you don't want to do that. Or if you are friends with somebody and you've known for a long time, and you talk to them, and for you've liked them, and you're friends, and then you talk. Next thing you know, then everybody's wanting to date them. What is it? It's like, does everybody sit around, and then if you find out you like somebody, and if you ever say that, which is why if I do like somebody, I'm not going to publicly say it, because if I do, the next thing you know, I'll use this one other example. This one person, we were going to meet, uh, and then sure enough, I was not going to meet anybody until I was divorced. I don't do that. I was married. Sure enough, I thought the person, single. We were friends. Next thing you know, they're with every person in the world. I'm like, what happened? This person was single and now they were with everybody. Oh, now they're about to get married. Okay, then let's go back to this other person. Okay, and thought, okay, well, I might be open to talking to the person. You know what? Next thing you know, now they've been, I'll use this other person. I'm not going to use the name, but they've been married before. And then you end up talking to them. Next thing you know, uh, it's been like years and years. And then the moment somebody finds out you're with them, next thing you know, they're engaged to get married. I'm thinking, oh my God, what is it? And then the person that was your friend, because you talked to them, now because they're getting married to some other person, then you're no longer friends. So okay, so if you marry somebody, then you may or may not, if you don't have kids, you may or may not stay friends with that person because they could, their mask could fall off and they could not be the person that they said they would. And then, or you could be friends with somebody else and then that person's single. And the moment, I don't know what it is, but the moment for some reason another female finds out that the guy that they may not have wanted until they may want somebody else. Next thing you know, they got them all lined up. Then they get married. Then you thought, okay, well, congratulations, you're proud for them. Then next thing you know, you open yourself up and you start talking, and that person's like, oh no, I'm never gonna get married again. See, I'm not gonna get married again because I believe the moment a person gets tired of you, they'll find someone else. And just because you have a marriage certificate doesn't mean a person's going to be with you. They can be with you 1 minute or a second, and then they can be gone. So you don't know if they're going to be there or not. There's no 100%. The only thing that's 100% is that we all going to die. And that's it. We all were born and we're all going to die. So it's like I'm thinking, what in the world is it? Is it me? So I stay to myself, and Lord, I certainly don't talk to some. If I find out somebody else is with somebody else, oh no, don't talk to me. Because I'm not doing that. And I'll call that girl up and I'll say, or I'll tell the guy, I'll say, does your girlfriend or your wife, or does she know that you're talking to me? Because if she doesn't, it ends here. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that kind of thing. Around here, we don't do that. You don't, as a female, I don't hurt another female. Females may, but I'm not. I'm not going to have that kind of karma come back on me. No way. I got enough to deal with in life. Because the people that's hurt me, I guarantee I'm watching them get their karma right now. Uh, I went through a lot. Well, I went through therapy for 9 years. I'm going to tell you so, it didn't help. Didn't help. Just kept regressing me back to where I was at. And, I get emotional now because um, I see people that I went to school with, all their kids are graduating. I never had kids. And then, of course, I was unable to have them. And I have, my husband said, all I can do complain that things hurt and I just wanted to be held. What's wrong with that? I'd found a surrogate, and the lady, she was so sweet. She already had 6 kids, and she had easy birth. And so she was willing to be a surrogate for us. And all he needed to do was stop by and take care of what he needed to do. But, he was always busy, never could do that. But always blamed me for not wanting to have kids. But there was a lady that was able to do it, even though I wasn't physically able uh, to have a child. And it does hurt me because I'm getting older, and some women want children, some women do and they don't, and it hurts me because why was I not good enough? I think we all feel, especially betrayal. Why wasn't I good enough to be loved? What's wrong with me? We start looking at ourselves, but the thing is, the number one thing I want to say that I learned is that I had to go through all of this to know that the more that you beg someone to be in your life and to love you, the more they will pull away. It will make you look desperate. It will make you look like that. It will make that person like, oh, they really want me. Oh, it's like when I asked my ex-husband for closure. Can you please just give me closure, please? What did I do? I mean, you've been living with this other man's wife. You've been living this double life for going on 30 years. I've been here faithful like a little cuckoo dodo bird, believing that, it was love. And I had to go through with, so much. My dad died of cancer and trying to take care of everything and work and do a lot. And I always help everybody too. And it was a lot. And he wouldn't even come by and see me. I mean, we're married. And then I was told, hey, he's been with her all this time, which is like, no, he's been married to me. And if I think there should be some type of law put in place that neither male nor female should ever block the chance for another person to have a child if they want that or steal that time from them. Because for a female, she only has a certain amount of time. A guy can have kids until he's like 100 years old. Uh, but a female has a limited time and she has a limited amount of eggs. So if she doesn't freeze her eggs and she's still thinking the person's going to come back because she believes and has trust, I think there should be something put in place that, they're penalized for it because it's not fair, because it steals part of that person's life, because it's not fair, either male or female. But if a person doesn't want to build a family with that person, then they need to tell them. They don't need to just, you know, get their cake and eat it too. But one of the things, I keep talking. I'm going on a tangent now. It's going on a while. I just started. I wanted to test out this company to see how it would be and see how the stream would be. But no matter what, if you are in a relationship or you're with somebody and if they don't treat you right and they want to hurt you, don't ever beg anybody to be in your life or to love you or to be part of anything, because if you do, their ego's going to swell and they're going to think, oh yeah, they need me, and then they'll treat you worse. Sometimes they'll just completely ghost you, and then that'll be it. And you'll learn that the one that you really needed was yourself, because what happens is you put that person up on a pedestal. When you stop caring about them, I mean, by the time uh, he met me, he waited till I turned 18. He found me. He was 25. And that tells me you had 25 years. You hadn't married anybody yet. The thing is, don't let them make you feel less than. Because if you do, they're going to feel like, okay, I mean, this is our story. This is how we write it. The moment you give somebody else the power and you make them think, oh, they're like a god, and you put them on a pedestal, they will treat you like crap. You'll get abused. You'll get mistreated. That's what I've learned through many, many, many years. And I've been rambling, just talking, saying things here and there. I'm not even sure if this is live. I'm not even sure. I see a screen here in their back studio because I am not live. On there seeing if any comments are coming through or if anybody's even here. But I did it at this time because I thought maybe everybody else would be in the bed. But anyway, I just wanted to talk, and hopefully I can get some rest, and I hope everybody else is doing okay out there, and I send love and blessings to all of you, and I hope you have a blessed rest of the week. It's sad, one of the people that worked at our doctor's office, she passed away. And then, I have doctor's appointments I have to go to. But I just, I wanted to hop on and test another company. And yes, I'm like a little turtle. I'm slow, but I'm picking the company. I'm trying out different ones that feel right for me. I know everybody uses SteamYard, but y'all live in a different, area. Maybe if I had different options, I could just pick with one and go with it. But I'm trying this one out. But thank you all for sticking around if you happen to be out there in the little YouTube universe. Uh, I hope all of you are well, and I pray for all of you. And I'll hop on again probably next week. I have one other company I'm going to test, and then I'm going to pick, and then I'm going to probably, I don't know if I'll do them live. I don't know how I'm going to set it all up, but I have a lot to talk about. Okay, well, I'm going to end it now, and I'll guess I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye bye. Oh, and thanks for listening to my jibber jabber, by the way. I know it takes a lot to hear me talk. All right. Bye.